Testing, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this live English lesson where we're going to talk about big tech. Give me a few moments here to make sure everything is working just the way it is supposed to. I'm sure it is, but you never know when things might go wrong, as I am relying on a lot of big tech companies to make this live stream actually work. And it looks like everything is working the way it's supposed to. So that is awesome. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about big tech. So in the world around us, a number of years ago, some companies started to get bigger, companies like Google or Facebook, which became Meta, or Amazon, the big online shopping giant, or Apple. There are a number of different types of businesses and companies, maybe some in your own country, that have grown to be enormous, and we refer to them as big tech. We also sometimes call them tech giants. So in this English lesson, we'll talk about the products and services that those companies, that those businesses provide, and we'll talk about a lot of words and vocabulary about big tech and big data and tech giants and all those types of things. So once again, welcome to this English lesson about big tech. Hey everybody, welcome. I hope you're having a good day. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a lesson. The last lesson I did was 2 weeks ago, and it was a lesson on jokes. And then I followed that up with a Tuesday lesson about jokes, and that video took off. That video has 500,000 views. I have to say though, a lot of people who are watching it aren't actually learning English. I think they're just coming for the 2 jokes. And if you read the comments, you'll notice 2 things under that video. Number one, a lot of people share their own joke, which I appreciate, but a lot of people who aren't learning English have left negative comments about my joke telling ability or the annoyance they have that I explain the joke after I told it. I think the video is being promoted to people who aren't English learners, and I think they're kind of missing the point of the video. So I find that quite humorous. If you want to go and read the comments under that video, you should. But hey, we're not here for that today. We're here for an English lesson about big tech. So before I get started, let me make sure once again that everything is working. And let me just explain a little bit. Mode says, Nigel? Maybe that's the name. I don't know. I'm feeling a little burnt out from English, but this topic piqued my interest. And also the drone news is exciting. Yes, I have a small drone. Actually, I think Jen has it right now. I did try to make a little video with it this week and I failed. So I'm going to have to spend some time this weekend playing around with it. So anyways, please enjoy the lesson. Please use the chat to have fun English conversations with each other. If you have a question during the lesson, there is a link in the description below and pinned, at least on my screen, at the top of the comments. Oh, not gonna lie. Got it. I thought you were calling someone Nigel. Anyways, there is a link in the top, pinned in the top of the chat as well. Please use that to ask your questions. And I will pause a couple of times as we go through this lesson to answer those questions. If you are watching this at 8:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is live. Like, hello, Fabian. Hello, Unabi. Hello, Paula. Hello, Hamasirwan. Little VL, Ahmed Mohammed. Good to see all of you. Good to see Ismail, Mode Eggs, Aerosmith, or Judith. I know Hafiez, Mr. Fishieri is here as well. And Freddie Wolf, Key Park, Torahiki. Good to see some familiar names. Hockey90 is here. But enough of saying hi. We're here to learn English. Let's get started. Here we go. Big tech. So when we refer to big tech, we refer to the companies around the world that have grown to such a size in the technology area. Tech is short for technology, that they kind of dominate that area. If you look over here, you'll see that Amazon dominates online shopping in many countries of the world. Tencent dominates gaming and a whole bunch of other things in China. Google is an enormous company worldwide that dominates in search and also runs YouTube. Microsoft and Apple dominate the operating system market. So these are all companies. I think Meta's in the middle there. Meta runs Facebook and Instagram. These are all businesses or companies that have grown to be enormous, and we rely on them every day. Right now, I'm relying on Intel, Amazon, Google, who owns YouTube, and NVIDIA in order to do this live stream. I have a laptop with an Intel chip. It has an NVIDIA video card to process the video, and I'm broadcasting via YouTube, which is owned by Google. So, and I've bought a lot of stuff from Amazon. We also refer to these companies as tech giants. So these are the tech giants. When you hear about Google, they are one of the tech giants in the world. Apple is one of the tech giants. So we use these two terms interchangeably, big tech or tech giants, the big companies that we all rely on. So in North America and in many other parts of the world, we refer to Google, Apple, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft as some of the tech giants. I know as you go to other countries in the world, you may have your own tech giants as well, but this is primarily who I think of when I think of the tech giants. And there's a few other ones that are growing, like OpenAI and those types of things. So let's talk about a search engine. Let me clear my voice. Sorry, clear my throat. I haven't talked for a couple of weeks. Let me just go to a pause screen for a second here. We'll just go to the question screen. That should be better. I do this so I have a marker point when I go to do my edit. Search engine. A search engine is a tool you use to find things on the internet. Way back in the day, that's how we refer to the past. Way back in the day, there were different search engines. There was Yahoo, there was Alta Vista, there was Google, and Google eventually became the dominant search engine. I think the vast majority of people in the world use Google. You can also use Bing to search for things on the internet, but generally when people use a search engine, this is almost always the one they go to. If they want to know what people were in the band that they used to like in the 80s, you can use a search engine to find that information. Social media. So this refers to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Excuse me. My voice, I don't have a sore throat. I think it's just too early in the morning to be talking. Social media. So this refers to things like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, the platforms we use to interact with each other. I think TikTok is probably more video based. YouTube is sometimes considered social media as well. But I think the pure social media platforms would be Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, where you're sharing about your life with other people. And maybe Be Real, although I think Be Real has kind of fallen out of favor a little bit. I'm not sure if people are still using it. But social media, this is run by the tech giants who are helping people to connect, usually in a good way, but sometimes negatively. Generative AI. So we now have some new players in the field of big tech, and that's companies like OpenAI, who are developing things that can pretend to be human. They can at least generate things like text or sentences or paragraphs. They can have a simulated conversation with a human being. They can generate pictures. You'll notice I'm using the word generate a lot. So generative AI, things like ChatGPT, are software platforms that can mimic human behavior. They can mimic conversation, creativity. They can almost seem human at times. It's very, very interesting and a rapidly developing field right now. We have online shopping. So for me, the biggest platform I use to do online shopping is Amazon. If I order something from Amazon early in the morning, it arrives the same day now. I live relatively close to an Amazon distribution center. And so online shopping has become quite easy for me to do. Just the other day I bought, I don't know if I can put this on the screen. No, the cord isn't long enough. Let me see. Here, let's see if we can do this. Full display. No, you still can't see it. I bought a charger with 4 cables on the end because we have to charge so many things that became a necessity. So I just went on Amazon.ca because I'm in Canada, put it in my shopping cart, and purchased it. So online shopping, the newer and better way of shopping. Maybe we can consider it better. Also, we have cloud computing. So you don't have to have a computer in front of you. You can pay to use a computer that's somewhere out there. It's in a data center, but I'm going to talk about that later. So things like Google has Google Docs, Google Sheets. So you can use software, but it's actually in the cloud. If you are someone who is a programmer, you might rent a server from Amazon. They have huge data centers with, notice I said data and data so far, where you can rent a computer in the cloud and you can use that. And then we have the general term of cutting edge technology. So cutting edge technology is anything that is new. When I was a kid, you couldn't send music from your phone to a speaker wirelessly because you didn't have a phone. The technology to send things wirelessly didn't exist, and there was no such thing as a Bluetooth speaker. So every few months, there's something new that gets invented. Wearable technology is another thing that we have. Devices that you can wear that track your heart rate or notify you if you have a message. So you have things like the Apple Watch or the Fitbit that help you do that. So a lot of big tech companies invent cutting edge technology, things like wearable tech, things like new devices like Bluetooth speakers a number of years ago, things that just make your life better, usually. I'm always kind of qualifying that statement every time I say it. But hey, let's look at some questions. I feel like I'm going too fast, but I'll try and slow down a bit. I do have a number of phrases and words to get through. Excellent. Okay, let's do some questions. Let's see. Who should I say hi to? Hi to CS Team. Hi to Wanda's here. Wanda Prado. Oh, Brent's here from American English with Brent. Good to see you, Brent. Bonus videos once a week if you are a channel member. That is true. Except this past week it wasn't. I took a little bit of a break. Okay, let's get to questions. I think I can put this one on the screen. And so fudge is a treat, but sometimes people actually use the word fudge as a funny way of using a swear word that starts with the same 2 letters. So be careful with saying what the fudge. You can find AI these days easily, but building your personal assistant AI agent using N8N to send emails, book appointments, and many more is somewhat new for many. Yes, the concept of using an AI agent is something that I think we will all be learning to do over the next year. There's a new browser from OpenAI called Atlas, I think, which it will do things for you on the internet. The agent will. So I think that's what we're going to start calling AI that helps us. We're going to call them agents. From Renata. Hello, Bob. How is technology shaping our relationships and social interactions? Do you think it's enhancing our connections or creating barriers? Thank you very much. I think it depends how you use it. So here's a positive example. YouTube is a great place to learn English. Here's another positive example. I have quick and easy communications with my brothers and sisters because of technology, using a social media app. I think that's really, really good. Here's how I think it's affecting social interactions in a bad way. People, if you go to my last video, some of the comments are pretty rude. The video where I told 2 jokes, people will say things like, well, the jokes are funny, but you're not good at telling jokes at all. I think social media allows people to be mean too easily. Fortunately, I have a very thick skin. When you're 54 years old and you're on the internet a lot, making content, you develop a thick skin. That means I'm not easily offended by those comments. From Lilia, thank you, Bob, or hello, Bob. Thank you for the lesson. Can you explain the difference between such phrases? I shave myself. I dress myself. The myself is just for emphasis or for clarity. So do you drive? How do you get to work? I drive myself to work. So that's basically saying I drive, but I'm emphasizing that I'm able to drive. It's kind of a emphasis and clarity. From Judith. Hi, Bob. Could you live without the products of technology? Have a nice day. No, I do not think I could be a high school teacher without technology at this point in my life. If I had to go work at a high school that had no technology, I don't think I could do a good job. Like something as simple as a photocopier is technology. Having a projector in class. I don't think I could do this job without technology. My personal life, I think I would be fine. I like to read books. I like to walk. I do think technology is I think I could survive but my work life, no. From MD, Parvej, I'm from Bangladesh, and I want to know that how I can improve my learning English by watching are there videos? Well, not just my videos, but there are a number of English teachers on YouTube. I would find one that is teaching at the level and with the accent that you would like to learn. I obviously have a North American accent. Maybe you're interested in learning with a British accent. And then follow them like as you would with other YouTubers and watch everything they make. You should do more though. Like just watching videos isn't going to make you fluent. Mohim, sir, please explain the sound you just made with your throat. Little crap. So I cleared my throat. When you're like, you are clearing your throat. I think you might say like, no, that's exactly what I would say. I needed to clear my throat. From Nima, I think Windows is dead. 2026 is the year of Linux. No joke, by the way, at least my assumption. I don't know about that. Windows and Mac OS, they're just, it's hard for some people, like a business or a school, to switch away from one operating system to another. From Unibi, did you notice that one of the big tech giants, Cloudflare, had serious technical issues this week? When I was looking up data breach, I think that company might have been mentioned. I'm not sure. This is not the news. Don't quote me on that. But let's see here. Oh, Brent, you have American Thanksgiving coming up. I'm always jealous of Americans because November is a long, dreary month. In Canada, we have no holidays in November, but the Americans get to have a holiday. Very nice. From Unsel. Hi, Mr. Bob. Your joke video passing 500,000 views is amazing. What do you think made this one connect with so many people? Thanks a lot. You're awesome. So I can tell you what happened. The title and the thumbnail, I think people liked seeing me laughing, and the title was a little bit clickbaity, right? Like, hey, if you can understand these jokes, your English level is amazing. That initially got it some views, but then it got, well, I'll talk about the algorithm in a bit. It got in front of people who are not learning English and just came for the jokes. And the other thing that happened is people have been coming back, I think, to read all the jokes in the comments. That video, the comment section of my video on jokes, has become a huge repository of jokes. If you want to read some jokes, go to the video from a week ago Tuesday, the one where I'm like laughing and I'm in a snowstorm. So a few things happened. One, good topic, good title, snow in the thumbnail, me looking happy and laughing, and then all of the jokes in the comments causing people to come back and back again. That's what happened. And people are still leaving jokes there. I saw a few more this morning. Judith, hi Bob. Do you plan to replace your voice with AI? I hope not. Did you help a tech product to develop? Have a great weekend. So this is an interesting one because I don't know what's going to happen with people teaching English on YouTube. I will tell you this much about my slow retirement from YouTube in a few years. I will most likely, for a very long time, do live lessons on Fridays or another day. Even when I'm older and retired, I think I might still do that because it will be real. This is very real. I'm right here. This isn't a fake image. This is the real Bob voice. So I'm not sure. I will, and I have used AI for, here's how I use AI right now. For this lesson, I think I have 27 things to teach you. I thought of 19 things on my own. And then I ask AI, hey, I'm doing an English lesson. Here's the words I'm going to teach. Are there any words I'm missing? And then it added a few. It added ecosystem, algorithm, digital footprint. So very useful tool. But will I have AI pretend to be me? I don't know. That doesn't sound like a good idea. From Hasham, which AI chatbot do you use the most? I've used ChatGPT the most. Although when you search on Google, then Gemini gives you results now. And I was playing around a bit with AI at school because it's built into Apple computers now a little bit. From Unsel, hi again. Which big tech trend excites you the most? YouTube. What makes it so interesting to you? I like making videos and teaching English. Thanks a lot for your hard work. Bye. So I think the invention of YouTube, and when I started YouTube in 2017, this is just exciting. YouTube is an exciting, cool thing for me. Okay, let's get back to the lesson. Let me have a sip of water. In the chat, Imad says, how can I test my level of English? I think Duolingo still has an English test you can try. Hey, I know that. Good to see you. Let's see. Mode says, I don't know. I feel like people who recommend using Linux are like tech snobs. Okay, we get it. You like to build everything from scratch and customize it. Yes, I have a Linux server in the basement. Mode. I built a Linux server last summer to do all my backups. It's very, very handy, but it is somewhat technical. Yes. Innovation. We use the word innovation to talk about things that are new or things that are new ideas. So as a teacher, I like to have a lot of innovation in my classroom. I don't want to teach the same way all the time. Sometimes I like to innovate a little bit. I look at, okay, if I'm going to do this lesson again, how can I make it better? Technology is built on innovation. When you invent a smartwatch, you want to innovate and make the next smartwatch even better. When you make a phone, you want to innovate and make the next phone even better. So innovation is the extending new ideas and having new ideas in order to make new things. Silicon Valley, not Silicon Valley. Some people say Silicon Valley, by the way, but it's Silicon Valley. That is the proper pronunciation. But even I know when I talk about it, I sometimes say Silicon Valley, but it's Silicon. I'm saying it right now, Silicon Valley. This is a place in the state of California. It's around San Francisco, San Jose. It's north of Los Angeles, but it's in the state of California. And it's a place where a lot of tech giants have their head office or at least one of their larger business places. So things like companies like Google or Apple or Facebook. I'm not sure why Silicon Valley started. I do know there were a few companies that were there very early. But it is, a place in the state of California in the United States where there are a lot of tech companies. Silicon Valley, not silicone. Silicone is like a substance you use to glue things together or seal things, but silicon, hopefully I'm saying it right. Algorithm. So you might hear a lot of talk about the algorithm. The algorithm. You might hear a lot of or read a lot of news stories about the algorithm. An algorithm is simply like a mathematical equation or a computer program that does things. There is an algorithm working right now to promote this live stream for people learning English to other people on YouTube. If you are someone who has watched one of my videos in the past, and you watched the whole video and maybe watched a second one, there's a good chance that the algorithm knows that you are interested in learning English. And it might show you the thumbnail for this live stream right now because it knows you might be interested. So the algorithm is interesting. On a platform like YouTube, it learns what you like, and then it tries to show you videos that you might want to watch. There are other algorithms as well. If you've ever, here's my favorite algorithm story. One time I was looking to buy a new popcorn maker, and I did a search and I looked at a couple different kinds of popcorn makers. And then one of the algorithms on the internet that tracks your interests decided I wanted to see ads for popcorn makers for like a month or two afterwards. Every web page I went to, there were always ads for popcorn makers because some algorithm was tracking what I was interested in. And then you have what's called a feed. So a feed can be almost anything. On Facebook, you have a feed of all the recent posts. When you go to a news website, you'll have a news feed. This is the internet giving you things you might be interested in clicking on. So with a news feed, when I go to the sports news feed, it probably knows I'm in Canada. And so it's showing me news feeds from, I think, the Professional Women's Hockey League. It looks like there's another article up here that's from Vancouver and Toronto. So somehow the algorithm knows that I'm in Canada and thinks I'll probably be interested in hockey. And so this feed, it's showing me what it thinks I might be interested in. So there can be a news feed, there can be just a social media feed. All of these are used to refer to the information being given to you. So there are two pronunciations here, and I use both. You could call this a data center, or you could call it a data center. I think because I'm Canadian, I probably pronounce a lot of words two different ways, and I don't even know why I pronounce them that way. So this is either a data center or data center. They are building data centers like crazy all over the world right now. So a data center is a large building filled with computers. This video lesson is going through my internet connection to a data center somewhere. And then there's a computer in that data center sending this out to all of the people who are watching it. So a data center is a large building where there are lots of computers, which we usually call servers, which are sending the information out to everyone around the world. And then you'll have something called a server farm. So a server farm is simply a large collection of computers dedicated to doing one job. So this might be a server farm at Google, and these servers might be in charge of broadcasting Bob the Canadian's live lesson, or maybe all my English lesson videos are stored in this server farm. And if you click on one, it will show it to you. And then there's something called an ecosystem. So when you start to buy technology, sometimes you buy into a certain ecosystem. Some people buy into the Apple ecosystem. This means you probably have a MacBook, you probably have an Apple Watch, and you probably have an iPhone. So you've decided to buy tech products from the same company. I usually use the Google ecosystem. My phone's a little dirty here. So I have a Pixel phone and I use Google Docs and Google Drive. That's part of the Google ecosystem. So it depends on what you like. I know people who are part of the Apple ecosystem and they really enjoy the fact that everything connects together so easily. So when you buy a lot of tech products from the same company, you're part of their ecosystem. So your watch, your phone, your laptop, etc., etc. Then we have machine learning. So machine learning refers to the ability of machines to analyze large amounts of data or data and to come to conclusions about it and to teach themselves about it. The best example, of course, right now would be generative AI, where the artificial intelligence is consuming large amounts of data and using that data to create new output. So it's kind of learning as it goes along. I did a really fun activity once with machine learning where we had to program a virtual race car to go down a racetrack, and it would just it would generate a car and send it, and it would crash, and then it would figure out why it crashed, and then it would eventually, after sending 10,000 virtual race cars, one would get to the end because it would use machine learning to figure out how to get to the end of the racetrack. It was very cool. Not a real race car, like on a computer screen. Hey, let's do members only chat. Let me figure out where that button is because I still haven't really learned the new interface. I think I'm on my way there. Customization, members, save. So first of all, I need to look at this because I saw somebody gave like a ton. So Femi Kanakur gave 10 Bob the Canadian memberships. That is very, very cool. Thank you very much for doing that. So Eat Some Cookies, Maverick, Daniel, Sky, Xavier, Marcio, Iqbal. Look at that. That is very cool. Thank you so much for doing that. I myself, I feel like, okay, I gotta give one. I give one membership away every live stream. So let me do that for a moment. Let me also check to make sure things are working. So someone, this has probably already happened when you hear my voice. Someone has gotten a free membership from me. So that is Ilya Apturo. So there you go. So if you just got a membership or if you became a member, if you go to the community or posts section of my YouTube channel, you will see all the members only content. Brent is saying, I think it's 20. Oh, there's 2. Femi Kanakur. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you so much for all the gift memberships. So that was 10 and then 10 again to On Alan, Improve Your English. I'm not going to read all of them. That's a lot. That's 20 people. Very cool. Thanks for shouting that out, Brent, so that I saw that I recognize that. Very cool. Okay. What am I going to do right now? Oh, you can see my mouse on the screen. There you go. I am going to get a question from the queue, and then I'm going to start answering questions from members. I'm a little taken aback by the generosity of, I hope I'm saying the name right. I should go back one more time. From Femi Kanakur. Very nice of you. Thank you. Jack says, do you believe it's healthy to be more on social media or less? Why or not? Why not? So here's what I think about social media. If social media is affecting you in a positive way and it's making your life better, then those are the uses you should use. When I use social media to share pictures with my sisters, that is a positive thing. When I use social media to learn something new, that is a positive thing. When I use social media to understand something better, that is a good thing. But if you're just sitting, entertaining yourself, I'm kind of showing my cards here. I don't really like social media where you endlessly scroll on your phone watching short 10 or 30 second clips. I think maybe because I'm old, I just don't see the value in that. If you're going to watch a 10-minute YouTube video on how to build a table, that is an awesome use of social media. So that's my opinion there. Okay, here we go from the chat. No, that says, hey, Bob, maybe someone has already asked this and I missed it, but how's your workout at the gym going? How was your first session last week? I have been going to the gym actually for almost 3 weeks now. and I'm still lifting 5-pound weights. In a week and a half, I will move up to 7.5-pound weights. And then I cannot lift anything heavier than 10 pounds before January sometime, middle of January. But it's going well. I'm enjoying it. And then I'm walking at the gym and riding bikes. It was really, really cool. No, that says, I hope it wasn't too demanding, that you didn't get too sore. No, I'm going at this very, very slowly. Let's just say I'm not a small person and I'm lifting these little 5-pound weights at the gym, which is like 2.2 kilograms or something. Like they're very tiny. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I think it's worth it to go slow. Let's see. Key Park says, hi, Bob. I'm in the States now. Very cool. I'm not used to watching your Friday live in the morning yet, so I'm sorry for being a little late. Are you in the States permanently or are you visiting? I'd be curious to know. Let's see here. Femi Kanakur says, just sharing the love. Well, thank you once again. Freddie Wolf, lately, someone organized a chess party between AI and a human being. Guess who won? The human being won after AI had totally messed up its game. So AI is not as perfect as we would currently expect. It does still make mistakes. So you remember I said sometimes I use AI to fill out a lesson. If I want to teach 25 words and I can only think of 20. Sometimes what it tells me I should teach you guys isn't actually good. So I'm glad as a human I could still sort through that. But it's going to get better, right? Every month it gets better. Oh, I see. No, that's talking to Key Park about work. There we go. Hafia says, I don't have social media, no Instagram, no Facebook, no TikTok, but I endlessly scroll YouTube, face palm. So that's the thing with YouTube. It's equally entertainment and education. And sometimes when you come to YouTube to learn something new, you end up just entertaining yourself for too long. At least that happens to me. No, that says, what are your plans for today or the weekend, Bob? Do you have anything special on your to-do list? Thanks in advance. Jen and I are getting large bales of hay for the goats, and I have to unload them with the tractor. So I did some yesterday already, to do a few more yet. I think if you watch Jen's channel, you'll see me on the tractor a little bit. That should be fun. Let's see here. From Pedro, hey Bob, which AI do you like the most? Thanks. So what I find the most interesting is the AI. So I used AI to help me build my vocabulary app, and I don't really want to talk about it because I haven't been adding new sets to it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that app, but I found it quite interesting to be able to use AI to help with computer programming. And I used Replit to do that. Let's see here. Mode says, no question, Mr. Bob. It's just good to see you, and I don't want to wear out your voice. Also, the lesson was starting to get too technical for me, but when you said eat some cookies, I tuned back in. Yeah. Did I say eat some cookies? I'm not sure I said that, but that's okay. Or maybe I'm not getting the joke. No, that says, oh, then I must have missed that you've been at the gym for 3 weeks already, Bob. Yeah, like we kind of dipped our toes in it, right? And then I think this is the beginning of week 3. So maybe it's only been 2 weeks. Sorry. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit. And Key Park's in Connecticut. Very cool. Let's see here. From Femi. Hi, Bob. I really like you and your content. I'm not a pleb anymore. Much love from TR. So I don't use the word pleb. I think it might be slang, an ordinary person from the lower classes. It might be slang in the UK. So there you go. If you didn't understand that question, where am I going next? Okay. Gary says, my kids are studying in Canada. They need a cell phone to finish their homework, but they look like addicts to the cell phone. And if I don't let them use it, they will be mad at me. Yes, young people really do like their phones. At our school, students are allowed to have a phone before school. They're allowed to use their phone at lunchtime and after school. So we've become quite strict about no phones in the classroom unless they need to make a video or do something else with the phone, then they are allowed to use it. But yeah, teenagers really do like their phones. Let's see here from Michael Holman. Hello, guys. Sorry I'm late. Can't wait to watch the lesson and read the chat later. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. And Freddie says, I'm in the state of France currently. There you go. Know that. I recently came across the phrase to kick the tires, Bob. Could you explain its meaning and give some examples of how to use it? Thanks in advance. So here's the pure version of the phrase is you're going to buy a car. Before you buy the car, you want to inspect the car. And when you inspect the car, you might actually kick the tires to make sure the tires have air in them. Okay, so that's the literal use of the phrase. You might say, I'm going to buy a car. I'm going to go look at it Saturday. I'm going to kick the tires and check over some things. We've now started to use this phrase anytime we're going to buy something. The other day, I went to buy something. I needed to buy a gaming console for gaming club at school. But when the person brought it, when I was going to buy it, I kind of wanted to turn it on and make sure it was working. I just wanted to kick the tires a bit. So I can, even though a Nintendo Switch doesn't have tires, I can use the phrase to talk about that. Let's see here. Oh, one of the people that got the gift membership had the username Eat Some Cookies. I did say it, but cookies also have a technical reference. Yes, that's how they track you with the cookies. Brent says to Key Park, very cool. My wife and son will be in Hartford later today. Very close. Eat some pizza at Sally's or Frank Pepe's, or go see the Hartford Whalers. Wait, they don't exist anymore, do they? Is that a blast from the past? Hartford Whalers. Oh, they are. Wait. 79, Nationals 1997. Yes. I just remember having hockey cards when I was a kid from the Hartford Whalers. Let's see. Hafiez, Mr. Fisheri says, weird story about the algorithm. There was one day when me and a friend talked about leeches in my leeches in my native language. Then a few minutes later, I get suggestions on YouTube about leeches. Yeah. Is it listening sometimes? We were talking face to face, not even texting. Freaky stuff. Yes. I have a funny story about the algorithm. There's an older couple that I know, and I asked my friend, an older couple, I asked my friend's wife if she used YouTube, and she said, no, when I go on YouTube, there's only videos about cars and tractors and stuff. And I said, well, are you using your husband's account? Because she didn't understand how the algorithm worked. Let's see. Freddie Wolf says, Bob, is there any snow outside? In France, we're experiencing some snow, not too much, but enough to create traffic jams. We have no snow right now. We had some a week and a half ago. Key Park's going to try the pizza. No, that says, thanks for your explanation and for answering my question, sir. No problem. Carolina Hurricanes. Hartford was an AHL team, I think now called the Whaler. Has an AHL team. So one level down from the NHL. Okay, I need to finish this lesson off because I have to go to work at a certain point in time. Let me turn off members only chat. If you have a question in the queue still, there's about 7 left. I will get to it. But right now we're going to move back into lesson mode, and I'm going to finish this off. Here we go. User data. So when you are on the internet, you give information. You give your name, your birthday, maybe your Visa card number when you're buying something. And that is all considered user data. And you want to make sure that your data isn't stolen. Sometimes criminals try to break in and steal user data because they want to know your name. They want to know your date of birth. They want to know what your Visa card number is. That would be really, really handy for them. And so there is a lot of work done with privacy. Online privacy and security are very, very important. So when I buy something from Amazon, I don't want them to share my data. I have a right to privacy when I'm online. And when you are online, you are constantly leaving what we call a digital footprint. When you walk along a sandy beach, you leave footprints. When you go online, you leave digital footprints. The internet knows which websites you visited. When you buy something from an online store, the next time you come back, it might suggest other things because it knows what you bought last time. You've left a footprint. So we refer to that as a digital footprint. Whenever you're online, you're leaving a digital footprint. Computers track almost everything, just so you know. Sometimes you have what's called a data breach. So this is when hackers break into a server online and they steal your personal data or your user data. So this is never a good thing. This recently happened to some school boards in Ontario and Alberta in Canada, where there was a data breach and people were able to steal personal, private information. So not a good thing. Another thing that happens with social media and other things is people want monetization. Monetization refers to when you earn money by doing something. So I earn money when you watch one of my videos, if you watch the ad at the beginning. Monetization allows me to be a YouTube creator because my channel is monetized. It means that for every video that plays, if someone watches the ad, I get just a little bit of money. So we call that monetization, or we say the YouTube channel is monetized. I kind of talked about this a little bit when I talked about the popcorn machine, but targeted advertising. This is when large companies that want to sell you things pay for your user data. They try to figure out what your digital footprint is and what you like. And then they try to also figure out, let me explain this a different way. If I wanted to sell things online, let me back up a little bit. If Jen and I wanted to sell more flowers at market, we could purchase targeted advertising where we would pay. So the ads would show primarily to people over the age of 40, under the age of 60, and people who in the past have said they like gardening or flowers. And then our ad would only be shown to those people. That would be targeted advertising. So not everyone in the world seeing our ad, just the people who fit into those categories. Now, there's something called regulation, and I think the EU is probably in the lead for having the best online regulations. This simply refers to the rules and laws created so that big tech or tech giants behave in the best interest of the people in that country. In Canada, we have fairly good laws and regulations, but in some places in the world, they don't. But when you have companies that are as big as some of these companies, you need laws and regulations so that they do what's good, not just for their own profit, but for the people who are using their services. And then you have what's called a monopoly. So a monopoly is when one company is the only company that sells that product or service. Google kind of has a monopoly on search, and YouTube, not completely, has a bit of a monopoly on online video. Like, you don't really go to a lot of other places to watch long videos. I think Spotify has a bit of a monopoly on podcasts, not really, Apple Podcasts as well. Anyways, a monopoly is when one company is the only company that sells a product or service. And some of these tech giants, like Amazon's almost an online shopping monopoly in Canada. People don't buy a lot of things from other places. That's the end of the formal part of the lesson. I see little Via. Maybe I should just put him in a timeout. Keeps getting blocked by... that's okay. Okay, let me answer the rest of the questions, and then we will wrap this lesson up. Here we go. James, hey Bob, can you tell me how to solve the tenses when I want to speak with some... when I want to speak with some, I use false tenses and my opponent person doesn't understand what I'm saying. So a few fixes there. You need to practice. The best thing to practice is talking in the present, the future, and the past, because those are the ones you'll use the most. And then the simplest conditional. And then practice them. That's all I can say. The practice makes perfect. From Unibi, let's talk a few words about differences between big tech and big data. In my humble opinion, Tesla is a big tech company, but Meta, for example, one of the big data giants. What do you think? I think so. Tesla does collect data, but it's a lot related to how people are driving and that kind of thing. Whereas Facebook and Meta, I think, collect a lot more data. They're going to know how old you are, where you live, and those kinds of things. From Judith, hi Bob. Would you like to have your own algorithm? No. What kind of theme would it be connected to? Prisons, education, sailing, thanks. No, it's a love-hate relationship for me with algorithms because I kind of rely on YouTube to promote my videos, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Mode says a good phrase to learn here is to have a corner on, which means the same thing as monopoly. Yes, when you corner the market on something, it means you are one of, or possibly the only company to have that product for sale. Let's see. Takagero says, hello, dear teacher Bob. Don't you think putting humankind to some kind of matrix is a good idea because of our environment effect? So data centers use a lot of power. If you wanted to have a matrix where people live inside of computers, we would still be using a lot of power, I think. But I think in the Matrix, the power source is people. So I don't know. No, good movie. Not in my opinion, a good way to go. From Gandu, love you, sir. Thank you for the love. That is nice. I feel it. When the last video started getting rude comments, I was like, well, these aren't my people. These are other people. From Fatih, what do you think about the AI and the way it's heading? I'm not sure how it's going to change education. I know it's already caused challenges because students can cheat easier, but I'm hoping AI will actually make it better. Like that teaching will become like where it's myself and an AI assistant helping to teach the student. So I hope in the world of education, it becomes more and more helpful. Let's see here. From Adil, how can someone keep improving their English if they love linguistics and literature, but are studying something different like computer science? Just find a way to add English to your day, whether that's working in a computer science field and only reading about new trends in computer science in English. Like try to discipline yourself to convert a large part of your day to English somehow. Freddie, the positive thing when you leave footprints on the beach, the sea will erase them. On social media, the footprints will remain for life. That's very wise. That's a good way to end this lesson. Yes, your digital footprint lives on forever. Well, hey, that's all the questions. And as I said, I do have to go to work at some point in time. So thank you to all of you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. This lesson will come out. There will be a shorter version coming out in a couple days. I will remove all of the questions and it will be just a pure lesson, all 26. Yeah, all 26 words and phrases. So use that for listening practice if you want, and go from there. It's always good to listen to something a second or third time. Know that says, thanks for the awesome lesson, Bob. It was, as always, a pleasure to spend some time with you. Have a wonderful Friday weekend. Best wishes to Jen and the kids. And then thank you, Bob, from Burgett. Wilma says, it's always a pleasure to learn English with a wise teacher. You rock. Hey, I did want to explain something, though. In my joke video, I used bring and take interchangeably. And there's some in the comments, some English teachers were pointing out that that was wrong, but it's not. In my area, you can use bring and take interchangeably. I don't know if you can do this in the UK, but here are a couple of examples. Tomorrow, you need to bring a lunch to work. So someone might say, no, the correct sentence is tomorrow, you need to take a lunch to work. But in my area, you can use bring and take interchangeably. So I can say things like this. Yesterday, you brought the penguins to the zoo. Tomorrow, you need to bring the penguins to the amusement park. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. It might be informal and it might be incorrect if you actually check grammar books, but we say it all the time. I'm going to bring a lunch to work today. I'm going to bring my kid to dance practice later. Like, you can just say that. Anyways, let me see here in the chat. I'm going to say bye to Judith, Hafiez, Key Park, Know That, everybody else who's there. I'm going to go to the outro screen in a sec. Bye to Mode Eggs and Freddie Wolf and Unabi and Unsel. And let me scroll back and all the other people. Lots of fun people. Thanks for hanging out. See you Tuesday with a new English lesson. And if you want, go check out the 6-minute video. I think it's in the chat here somewhere. Yes, test your English comprehension. Let me pin that. Can I pin it? Replace pinned message. So I pinned it in the chat there. Go have a listen to a couple lame jokes, according to some commenters, but I enjoyed them. Anyways, bye. You guys are awesome. Have a great weekend.